Jess on his right. Hey, hold up. Don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Wake and Jake in the morning. Wake and Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Good morning, bakers. Welcome to Wake and Cake. I'm Cake, he's Wake. The chat's going this morning that has me smiling ear to ear because I think we have a delicious mix of doing this live on a Thursday morning. You get some people like me. I just got my coffee, just took my first sip, waking up to sports together. And my guy, Yo Elvis, in the chat said, I'm high as fuck. So we get a good mix in here of Wake and Jake, and the most important part is it's a judgment-free zone. We bring people together. We talk some sports. Some of you, maybe your day's already going. Maybe you're like a 7 a.m. You've already had a productive day. Other people, maybe you're just waking up. So glad to have you here. Other people are listening to this 2 days later just to hear some sports because that's what we're talking. We're going to do some quick wrap up from the world of sports. Baseball, I don't want to say it's cold in the streets, but baseball is full rumor mill, so it's almost like if you dove into baseball right now, it's like a slippery rumor slope. A lot of it, as our guy Trevor Plouffe said, a lot of it is agent-led at this point. Or team-led, both sides of the scale. If you see a rumor that's for a player that's crazy high, like, again, I don't want it to be an attack at Mets fans because I did have a rude Mets attack the other day just for no reason. But it was a funny tweet in my head. If I told you, name which baseball team would you guess doesn't have a GM or a manager right now? Answer's always the Mets, it seems. So sorry, Mets fans. Anyways, we're going to do our NFL Week 10 preview, get you ready for the NFL weekend. And we're going to have a special second half of the episode. Producer extraordinaire and king of the world, Rob Scirocco. You might know him from the Rose Rotation. Rob's the best. He's been with us for a little while now. And he had the idea to do sports rivalries. So there will be a sports rivalries draft later in the episode. Some fun stuff there. So, yeah, I think, unfortunately, well, I don't want to say unfortunately, but baseball, there's really not a lot of news. What I could do if I said let's do 20 minutes opening on baseball, which we won't. Again, we're going to preview the NFL. But, man, that all MLB team stuff last night was making me kind of mad for no reason. Not actually mad, but it's just funny. I tweeted out MLB's thought process because I think it's right to a T that they were like, we should make an all MLB team, which is smart. You should. NBA, NFL, they have that. That's a layup. So when you're making a new award, it's tricky because, there's a lot of awards around it. Actually, kind of not in baseball because they have the Silver Slugger and the Gold Glove. So you represent a hitter, you represent a fielder. And then you have the All-Star Game mid-season. So an all-MLB team makes a ton of sense. It's kind of why we started doing the JM Baseball, the all-JM team, which we still need to do as our, a final award show for, which we will on Talking Baseball. We probably would have done it already if not for that damn baby.
These meddling kids.
Getting in the way. And so this is where MLB and sometimes the disconnect happens. And first base was the best example, but a lot of the other positions had it. For the MLB, the all-MLB team, where we're supposed to be highlighting the best of the best, and it's a good way to promote players. I get it. But you need people to not be able to mentally turn off from the award. Here are your all MLB first baseman nominees. Jose Abreu, Pete Alonso, Freddie Freeman, Paul Goldschmidt, Yuli Gurriel, Max Muncy, Matt Olson, Joey Votto, and the final two that I waited to the end for a reason, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who already won the Best Hitter this year award, the Hank Aaron Award, I believe. And then Ryan Mountcastle is your 10th nominee. They're not listed in order, but I'll tell you why he's 10th. He got left off the Rookie of the Year final three. So in this first baseman nominee, you have 10 guys, which, okay, quick math, 10 out of 30. You've nominated 33% of the first baseman. You're already... Why would I care about the nominees? Now, if you actually go into the nominees, I will say this. The list of first basemen is pretty impressive. I mean, Yuli Gurriel won the batting title. Max Muncy had a good year before he got hurt. Matt Olson.
A lot of good players at that position.
Great year. Paul Goldschmidt. I was laying some sneaky Paul Goldschmidt MVP bets towards the end of the year. Freddie Freeman turned it on. Pete Alonso's Pete Alonso. Jose Abreu won the MVP last year. So, Joey Votto, like he did have a breakout kind of year, a resurging year.
Yeah.
All that being said, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is on the list. He's going to win the award. And the better way to do it would have him joined by, and I haven't fully gotten into the numbers, but I'd assume Paul Goldschmidt and maybe Matt Olson.
Yeah, Muncy.
I'm sure Muncy has an
Muncy's
argument.
An argument to be in there. I don't know how much time he missed in the regular season.
Freddie's end of years are probably close. The point is, it should be like the three best. And sure, there's going to be arguments about who's fourth, sometimes who's fifth. And maybe first base is that good example. I'm sure if we dug up some of Freddie's stats and Muncy's stats and Olson's stats, there's arguments to be had. They nominated 10 guys, which is just too many. And then, if you really want to get into this, and it's where MLB is just blind to whatever promotion is, Ryan Mountcastle, so let's say the discussion here is, we've already nominated 9 guys. Hey, let's nominate Mountcastle. He did hit 30-plus homers. He's probably one of the only Orioles nominated anywhere, so let's try to promote him. Which I support that idea.
Interesting young player or whatever.
But, like, there are other guys off the list. CJ Cron had an awesome year. Go check out his stats for my Rocks. It's a better year than Ryan Mountcastle. Brandon Belt, I didn't really mention. I mentioned him in the quote. He played less games, but he had an OPS in the high 9s. And,
Incredible year.
Ryan if you really want to keep digging, Mountcastle, I think he only had 82 starts at first base because he played some left field too. So the all-MLB team could be a really cool, prestigious thing because it's at the end of the year. It's our complaints about all-star games.
And by the end, like whoever wins it, yeah, it's noteworthy. It could become noteworthy.
And
it's only the third year of the award.
There will be a little bit of controversy. There always is. But... And, you know, it does get tricky because that ties into contracts and stuff, but actually this doesn't right now. And by the way, I was going to tell whoever we know from the Players Union, if they want to make all MLB team a thing, which they definitely do, you know, add that to the CBA. Like, I know the all MLB team's nothing right now, but if you win it, that should change your arbitration and all that stuff.
Having, like, top 3 MVP finishes and stuff factors into your ARB and everything.
So that would be a nice little small twist of the balls in negotiation. Like, oh, you guys just dreamed up this cool new award. Well, reward guys for it. Especially because it's going to end up with a lot of young guys that probably deserve more money earlier in their career. Either way, you've kind of lost people. When you see the first base nominees are 10 guys.
And it's a different... In general, bigger picture, it's a different number of nominees at every position.
At every position.
Same with Silver Slugger. Something we didn't
Right.
talk about when we did like Silver Slugger stuff on Talking Baseball a little while ago, or Talking Yanks. We did the full conversation about it being stupid. Did you see the NL second base nominees for that?
Mm-mm.
Justin Turner was a finalist. I believe he's played 1 inning at second base with the Dodgers, and it wasn't this year.
No way.
Way.
Justin Turner was a second base Silver Slugger finalist this year.
Yes.
I need you to double check that for my sanity.
I read a bunch of articles because there was a few like stupid ones. I've got Joey Gallo's a finalist at DH.
Right.
They played 13 games at DH between two teams this year. Like,
so
Justin Turner didn't play second base this year.
we are fans. We love this stuff. And
Like something like at least Joey Gallo I know played some this year.
right. And I don't know. I give him a lot of shout outs because he's probably the only pod I listen to when I have time. Russillo was talking to Trent Dilfer about QBs, and they were just doing the QB discussion, and it's, which young QB would you rather have, Kyler, Herbert, blah, blah, blah. And Trent Dilfer basically gave the athlete answer of like, I don't care. Like, because it depends on who's the team around them, who's the offensive coordinator, what are they doing, blah, blah, blah. Like, all those guys are A, talents. There's so much other stuff in the pot that makes it happen. It's similar with baseball. I mean, a lot of these guys are so good. A baseball season's so long that you want to reward them. And at the end of the day, you can say, like, who cares who is all MLB? I don't know. I think if we did it right, and at the end of your career,
If we start doing these awards moving forward.
like as we're saying that, all-star games, how many times do I have to follow Justin Shackle? I followed him like 5 times. Do I just fat thumb him? Anyways, you can make it matter. You can make it cool. But
Like
yeah, when you
wanna-
throw out 10 nominees for the All-MLB team, which, by the way, do we know the end result? Are there going to be 2 All-MLB teams?
No, I mean the first 2 years there haven't been. The first 2 years of the award.
It's just one
I
roster?
think it's just one dude. So
One
and if you
starter,
wanna-
one reliever?
If you want to promote as many guys as possible, whatever. If you want to, I'll even let you nominate 5 dudes. Make 2 teams, 5
Right.
dudes, 3 guys get left off the first 2 lists.
Football
And you
does-
can make a third team too if you really want.
Football
There's enough
does-
players, but
First team All-Pro, second team All-Pro.
make a second.
Basketball does 3 teams, but it's obviously 5 guys, so it allows them to do that a little more. And it's super incentivized in NBA contracts. to
Like
do
you're
that, so.
you're like eligible for super max if you get some, and obviously there's no max contracts in MLB and all that. So
Yeah. So
it becomes a different discussion, I guess.
I guess the problem is, this was my cycle last night. I went from wanting to care to, oh my God, what are you doing, to don't care. And that's kind of the MLB story a little bit. So, whatever.
I mean, the first 2 years of the award, they didn't make that big a deal about it. I think they just announced it. I don't think they even gave finalists.
Well, and that's the
which is better than this, but I know they want to stir up conversation
right.
around it.
The other part that's frustrating is we did this with Silver Slugger, and they can nominate however many they want, and they'd probably just say, well, more guys, more promotion. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, maybe it'll improve over time, but I would, it would have been, if they gave us 3 at every position, like that would have been probably a cool run through on here and be like, oh, okay, well, Salvi's probably a runaway next. Vlad's a runaway. Ooh, second base is fun. Would you rather? Well, actually, Simeon kind of ran away with it. So, I don't know. I just want to give you guys a little bit of baseball. That's kind of the only conversation. Joely Rodriguez signed with the Yankees and BBD. You got the Passan button ready? Passan. I texted Jeff Passan because I was having a deep thought on the subway. Wasn't in the shower. I said, does Joely re-signing mean anything for free agency, or is it just Cashman and a reliever agreeing to lesser number? He said, nothing whatsoever. So,
They saved, I think,
Saved
$1
$1
million
million
real-life dollars because the Rangers had to pay the $500,000 buyout.
that's
people,
funny.
So people are talking about, well, Yankees only saved $500,000 by doing this because I had to give them. It's like, well, the Rangers were on the hook for that.
Yeah,
But-
that's funny. I didn't know
so they
that.
save a full $1 million, and there's $250 in incentives. So people were getting even hotter when they paid the $500K buyout.
Right. Well, Talking Yanks
He was a
coming
free
up.
player.
The John Bino will be coming up on today's Talking Yanks. Excited for that. He running hot on some Verlander rumors. We'll do all of that later. Let's do our little football preview. What's up, BBD?
I think I found something that made me madder about the awards.
Okay.
I want to double check. It involves the DH position.
Okay, DH rumors.
Okay, never mind. I thought there was more finalists for the Silver Slugger DH than the All MLB. It's the same guys.
Okay.
But it's just different numbers of finalists on every position
Yeah.
in both awards.
Like standard.
Which I don't think has been done in the past.
Sometimes standardization can work for stuff. We'll see.
I don't think that's been.
Yeah.
They've announced finalists before, and I think it was 3 every time.
Like that's a really weird.
And it was guys who played.
That rarely works. I think one of the few places that does work is the Heisman. It's kind of cool. Some years they'll have 3 guys, some they'll have 4. And
there's like clear rules around it. And actually,
But
I found what the difference is. Joey Gallo was a finalist at DH for Silver Slugger, and JD Martinez wasn't. JD's on the All MLB finalists.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So that's some baseball. I think we have a good idea for next Thursday's ep that might ease us into some of the shooty hoops. We'll see. We got to probably schedule that out. I think we have a cool guest in mind. Let's do our little football preview we've been doing. I've been enjoying it. Kind of gets you ready for the football weekend. And Papi Gordo has run into a couple, I don't want to say predictions, but a couple letdown games, things like that. Tonight is Baltimore at Miami. I don't know. We'll watch. We're America, and it's a football game, but I don't know. Miami, give them a game. They can in Miami, but I don't know.
Don't expect it.
Lamar Jackson wins games.
Thursday's weird stuff kind of happens.
If I had a Ravens podcast, I would have a shirt that says like something around Lamar Jackson wins football games. LJ wins football games. We'll see there. And Dilfer, I know I saw some people go Dilfer ugh in the chat. Sometimes I do get that vibe. Other times he says some pretty cool QB stuff. Something he said that was funny. He said Lamar Jackson's college coach is literally an insane person. So I haven't dug into that. I forget if did he have the guy that got into the motorcycle crash, or was there a guy before or after him? But he said, like, one of the reasons I liked Lamar Jackson coming out of college was because his coach was literally an insane person, and Lamar, like, got through it. Which put that in your QB scouting. And Baltimore might be
Bobby Petrino.
Yes. There you go.
I looked up Lamar Jackson college coach, and both of Louisville's basketball coaches come up. I was like, that's a weird Google quirk. I added the word football, and still Google just auto answers me the basketball coaches. What are we doing here?
Yeah, come on, Google. We'll reach out to them. We'll reach out to Google. Let's see what we've got on the Sunday slate. 1 p.m. Dallas versus Atlanta. Dallas had that tough Broncos loss last week, and they're in Dallas again against Atlanta. Hopefully that turns into a shootout. Atlanta, we know that franchise pretty well. They have some duds. They have some fun games where Matty Ice is slinging it. That could be a fun shootout game. Or Dallas is just going to drop it on them. If Dallas has back-to-back duds.
And it's those teams. I mean, the Falcons are good enough and talented enough to beat anybody any given week. They're not like a bad team, but 4-4.
We'll see. I mean, that has a chance to be a super fun game. That has a chance to be a 40, 45, 42 game. New Orleans, Tennessee. A couple winning football games. Tennessee's running hot. They just took one in L.A. after losing their Derrick Henry, their running back. Adrian Peterson's around. New Orleans, I don't know. Is Taysom Hill back? We'll see if he can be fun. He can be hell on wheels on a football field. Colts, Jacksonville. People are starting to drink the Colts Kool-Aid. This was what I was saying about their Titans OT game. They play the Jaguars this week. In Indy, they've been playing a better brand of football. I think this could get them up to 500. I mean, Jacksonville did beat the Bills last week in the ugliest game ever. Don't think that meant anything. We'll see. Browns at New England. Watch that. I think that's going to be a fun game. Stefanski, really good coach. Odell, gone for Cleveland. Last week we talked about the Denver Broncos and how they lost Von Miller. There's apparently a bunch of stats that the Cleveland offense has been significantly better without Odell. And yeah, I'm regurgitating Trent Dilfer, new podcast. He said that the reason is Cleveland, Stefanski's a good coach. We've talked about him a lot. That their offense is built up to go to the open guy. And when you have a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., you try to give him the rock 10 times a game, which kind of isn't the flow of your offense. On certain days it is. On certain days when that's there, you do that.
When it works, it works.
But other days, if they're doubling Odell all day, he has to be comfortable with getting 2 catches, and the rest of the team does well. And, we'll see. That's going to be an interesting game. New England has been playing a much better brand of football. Bills at Jets. I don't know. You'd assume the Bills would be pissed off as all hell that they just lost to Jacksonville, but they just lost to Jacksonville. Jets have been okay at home. I don't know what you do with that. Assume the Bills roll. Is White playing?
I think they announced him as the starter this week.
Then don't sleep on the Jets, because I like myself some Mike White. Detroit at Pittsburgh. Lions off their bye week. Pittsburgh low-key stinks, but they kind of win games. This is what I said about them before the season. This is their chance to go 6-3. Hard to picture them blowing it. And I guess we'll find out if Detroit has fully quit, which I think they have. Tampa Bay at Washington. No. Washington drew us wrong, but no. And that's the 1 p.m. slate. Carolina at Arizona. McCaffrey's back at full health. Darnold is hurt.
Hurt and out a few weeks, I think.
And out. We'll see. Kyler should be back for Arizona. If not, they looked great last week with Colt McCoy. Carolina's kind of been stinking up the joint lately. I'll root for Christian McCaffrey. Made a bold trade for him a couple weeks ago in fantasy. He's my hope to save the season. So maybe McCaffrey goes nuts and they win. That's no take there. That's just a hope. That's strictly a hope.
Did you see what people are talking about with the Panthers today?
Mm-mm.
Apparently meeting with Cam Newton with the intention to sign him.
Boy, do I like that. we both need help. Let's come together and feel all right. Bob Marley. 4 p.m. slate, Minnesota versus the Chargers. Again, that should just be a close game. Minnesota either lose heartbreakingly or... Actually, here you go. This is the Jakey Spidey Sense game of the week. Minnesota finds a way to win that game. The Chargers are a franchise that just... They have a past littered with weird losses. The Vikings, they seem to find a way to survive. I think they're 3-5, and people were saying they're the best 3-5 team ever. They lost to the Cardinals by a point. They lost to the Bengals by 3. They lost to the Browns by a score. They lost to the Cowboys by 4. They lost to the Ravens by 3 in overtime. So, yeah, I guess that would be my Spidey Sense game of the week, is that Zimmer, Minnesota, they find a way to beat L.A. Broncos host the Eagles. Go Broncos, go. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again. And that means there's a chance they break my heart. And they're playing Jalen Hurts, who I just gave a little bit of love to last episode. I still think Denver's defense at Mile High, they should be able to disrupt Jalen Hurts a good amount. Yeah. Go Horsies. Don't make me sad. Don't make me be a sad Broncos fan. Make me be an excited 6-4 Broncos. If they win, come on. Still got the Lions on the schedule. There's a route. What else we got? Green Bay versus Seattle. A lot of off-the-field headlines. This is the 4 o'clock football If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, I will be shocked. And I'll tell you why, people. It has nothing to do with any of the other chaos going on around it. Picture you're the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Your career is dictated by winning football games. You're hosting Russell Wilson in the Seahawks. Russ comes back this week. So you tell me, would you rather have Aaron Rodgers with 1 day of practice or no days of practice? Or Jordan Love playing his second game? I don't know. I could be wrong on that. And maybe Jordan Love's the story and he does get a second start. But if Aaron Rodgers is healthy and on your bench, that just doesn't happen in the NFL. Like, you can do that in an NBA game for a little bit. You can bench LeBron and have whoever you want hack up some shots for a quarter, and if they drop, they drop. But Jordan Love for Rodgers, I think that finds a way to figure itself out. Oh, and by the way, well, the night game, Kansas City at Vegas. Vegas just lost to the G-Men in Vegas, night game. I think they've got more off the field crap going on. And Kansas City, we'll find out if they're starting to figure anything out. That last play of the game was like one of the better Mahomes plays we've seen this year. So we'll see. We'll see. My Jakey story, Monday night, Rams, Niners. I have a wedding Saturday, obviously. Why wouldn't I? It's November. It's in Connecticut. It's a friend that I went to high school with, and he went to Northeastern, and I have a ton of friends that were part of a Northeastern crew, and he was part of that. So what? We're intertwined.
Couple groups you share in
couple
common.
Couple swaps. Couple pick swaps there. Paul, shout out. They have a friend. Paul. They have a friend who's a huge Green Bay Packers fan who, as a bachelor party, is going to the Green Bay game. So a couple of my idiot friends are going to a wedding Saturday night. I believe they fly out of Hartford at 5:30 a.m. after a wedding to go to Chicago, I'm guessing, because there's no way Hartford goes to Green Bay.
Directly, no.
And maybe they're connecting somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, they're going basically straight from the wedding to the Packers game. So that'll be a fun 24 hours for them.
It's a story.
I'll have fun watching it and giving them more drinks at the wedding to be miserable the next day. But that's your football weekend. I mean, Rodgers. Well, Green Bay, we'll see. I won't lock that up, Janiel. But Seattle and Russell Wilson kind of trying to save their season too. They're in the pits a little bit. That seems like a must watch kind of story of the NFL weekend. 1 p.m. Yeah, I don't know. Atlanta, Dallas would be your hope for like a cool game, but
Has the highest potential.
Jake Spidey Sense game of the week. Minnesota upsets the Chargers. Go Chargers, go.
Browns Pats will be good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that. And yeah, another last Jakey theft pot of the day. This was from Rosillo. The Bengals were the 1 seed 2 weeks ago. I think they were 1 seed in the AFC. Everyone was excited. They're now 10th in the AFC. So
this is quick.
Football early in the year can still move quick. This is the start of the second half of the season. Interested to see what'll jump out about the foosball the rest of the way. All right, BBD, anything else before we bring in just stud of the earth, Robbie Scirocco?
Only thing I've got, I pasted the tweet that I read in the chat about Cam, and the top reply to it is this.
Wow, bro. That's crazy. That's so love, bro.
And I thought you'd like that.
That is so love. I love that quote. All right. I think Robbie's listening in the other room. Otherwise, I'll just keep screaming his name until he gets in here. Chat, I will have to hide you. Rules are rules. We're doing a draft. If you guys follow us on JJR or where else do we do drafts?
We've done a few on here.
We've done a few on here.
At least 1 or 2 on Talking Baseball. Another one in the future.
Here he is.
Talking Yanks, there's a couple ideas coming.
We'll do some camera swaps here. We're getting in big shot Rob Scirocco. Rob's been helping out with some of the socials. I think we're getting you on the ISO cam over there. Am I wrong, BBD?
Wow.
Are we both going middle?
I
We'll
feel
be there.
honored. Honored to be here.
How are you, Robert? What should the people know about you that don't know Rob?
I'm doing
Scirocco?
well. A little nervous, a little
I-
scared, intimidated,
You should be.
but overall excited.
Okay.
You know?
As are we. I know, Rob, you've been helping out with some of the socials. Also, Chris Rose rotation this year. Snaps for that. It's still going, and the year's still going. But
Yes, sir. Yes. Great Tristan McKenzie episode just dropped today.
that's right. How was that?
It was great.
Okay.
What an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Smart kid.
He did. I remember he did sequence. He did sequence with Plouffe pretty early on, and he gets it. He does like social media stuff. He mixes it up with like the baseball lifestyle guys, and he's like,
Yeah, I saw he's doing something on the sneakers app this morning. It's just like, if you're doing something on a sneakers app, like
Yeah.
you know
yeah,
what's going on.
you're in the mix.
Yeah.
Unlike me, not on the sneakers app.
Yeah, no.
But I'd like to be. Robbie, was this your suggestion? You
This
take
was,
credit for this?
Yes, this
Okay.
was. This was my suggestion. You last Thursday, you came to me and said, "Hey, create a list of things, of drafts, of things you want to kind of more segments and things like that." And yeah, this was one that BBD pointed out, and he was like, "I want to do that one first."
Let's do it. So we are going to do best rivalries in sports. We will see what leniencies people have taken amongst the way. We had a late night chat last night after Clifford the Big Red Dog. I guess I should give my Clifford review.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, how was that? Because kinda
So
wanna see it.
I'll be honest with the people. Is it award winning? Probably. No, I guess here's my thing. I haven't watched kids movies in a while. When we got Noodle as a puppy dog, as a joke, sometimes we throw on like a Zootopia or something.
Okay.
Just like, oh, we're leaving Noodle, you watch this. And we caught some of it. Pretty good film, by the way. But I guess what I've never fully appreciated, because there's been no middle area between me and kids shows, they put stuff in there for the adults.
Right.
So, they threw a couple of those in there, and I liked that because I hadn't really seen that. So the movie's good. It's not great. I mean, you know what you're getting into. You kind of know the story of Clifford. There's not a lot of twists and turns with that.
Unless they like shrink them down. It's like, oh my God.
There was a couple times. Yeah, that was, spoilers. No.
Oh no.
There was a couple times that we let out some. A, there's the adult laughs, and then B, we had a couple adult laughs at like moments where you're laughing at it being a kid's movie.
Like, we're watching this, huh? Kind of laugh.
Like, so in The Dark Knight, another classic kids movie, there's one of the press conferences where they're trying to find the Batman.
Okay.
We've always made a joke for years. They're doing the press conference, and like Harvey Dent, I think, is about to admit that he's the Batman, blah, blah, blah. But they're doing the press conference, and just in one of those weird scenes, someone yells out, "Things are worse than ever!" And like that's always cracked up our friend group for a year. So there's a couple moments like that where they're just making a film and they throw something in there, and we were like, "This is pretty bad," but we enjoyed it. If Clifford was on the TV in 2 years, I think we'd only throw it on for nostalgia, not necessarily
And the memory
entertainment.
of this night.
But there's some good Job from Arrested Development's in there. He's the bad guy.
Really?
Yeah,
well, now I
Keenan-
have to see.
Well, I
Keenan's
saw,
in there.
I saw a
Magic?
couple people in that trailer,
good
but I didn't
cast.
catch him in that. We were watching the trailer.
Trailer made its way around the office. Alex Moffat, SNL guy, he's in there. Horatio Sands. Like, it's a pretty
They rolled out
Star-studded
rolled out a cast.
Clifford the Big Red Dog.
I get it.
So if you...
Did they have
As much
any
as they
have any of the book stories in it, or was it just its own story?
So that was our discussion afterwards. Jess said she wasn't familiar with the book.
there were like so many.
And
of them.
Jess is like a book person. I am not, but like that's how I know Cliff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. No, I guess they new aged it a little bit. I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but yeah, it's definitely not a plot line that one of the books would have had.
You could give it away. I mean,
No.
could I tell you
don't.
something that
Yeah,
just
just
happened to me? So on Sundays, my family likes to do a little Sunday dinner.
Sure.
You know,
Oh,
Italian, this and that,
Hey.
yada yada. So we're sitting there, and my grandma's boyfriend asks, grandma's boyfriend asks, "Hey, Robert, have you seen any good movies lately?" And I was like, "No, baseball season just ended. Like, I've been busy, this and that." And he goes, "I saw the new James Bond." Spoils the ending. Just I don't want to say it because it's like pretty shock.
Sure.
But it's like it would be a big
It's why you
spoiler.
watch the movie.
Dude, I said to him, "No, I haven't seen it. I'm so excited to see it." Though. And he just spoils it and then goes, saved your money anyway.
Yeah. You sure did.
Thinks you did you a favor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank
We have totally different tastes. You're 90 years old.
That's
I was like, what?
that's incredible.
And like
I was so mad.
He saved you 14
You can tell. I
bucks,
mean, it's
man.
literally been 5 days and I'm still not
Yeah.
over it.
like you were gonna go
Are you a
see it.
Bond movie guy?
I like movies.
Okay,
Love
you're a movie
action
guy.
movies, especially something that's just like, that's me. I could
Right.
do that, or like,
BBD, do you have the Bond movies at all? Because you're kind of the generation, like, not ages and everything, and we're getting away from rivalries a little bit, but like my dad like hammered the Bond movies, like
Really?
the old Bond movies.
like
These
the
are
Connery.
this
and
was
the-
cinema.
These are what's must
These are
watch.
the Bond movies. So I have kind of the old appreciation. I watch like all the old ones. The new ones don't get me jazzed up.
Really?
But I also haven't fully dove in.
I find Daniel Craig to be very dreamy.
He really won me over in Knives Out.
love
I
Knives Out.
really loved that.
There's a Knives Out 2 coming out?
I
That rings
did
a
and
bell.
didn't.
Yes.
Like it's a yes and a no. Let's
You
do
said it,
a
so I
sorry,
remember.
sorry. No,
Watched
we
it on the
did-
way to the World Series last year. That's when I saw
movie
it.
talk. Welcome to movie talk. Rob Scirocco. Let's do best rivalries in sports. I will do as we do with any draft here. We start with a random number generation. Rob, you will have to either write down a number 1 to 100.
I was thinking of it last night. I'm good.
You already have your number.
Got it.
I have mine.
I will write my number in
I'll
my,
write it down
my
just in
text
case.
thread to Jeff Passan. It's not a big deal. Okay. What'd you guys write down? Or I guess you have to go first. 'Cause
63.
11.
29.
Okay.
You guys went low.
BBD, I will hit the button once on the random number generator. That's pretty wild. It's 100.
It was 99 on
It was
JJR
99 yesterday. So my number generator is broken. Hit it again just for funds. It's 43. 100. So, Rob, you get to pick which draft pick you want. So if you want the one, the wraparound, or the 2-hole, and snake draft.
Right. You know what? I'm feeling very confident on my first pick.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna take the number 1 overall.
Okay.
Um,
It's a classic pick.
yeah.
A classic pick. Interested to hear your number 1. Dreams up the draft gets the number 1 pick. Suspect. BBD, you are whatever you want to be in this world.
I think I will take the number 2 pick.
Okay, I will take the wraparound pick.
It's the meat of the sandwich.
Yes, he sure is, isn't he?
That's right.
Attaboy. Rob, you have the honors, man. Best sports rivalries. Is that what we're labeling it?
Best sports rivalries.
Best sports rivalries.
All
okay.
of sports, college.
Yes.
Whatever.
College, pros.
I think the only stipulation we had is like individual people, like that'll be a separate draft down the line. So it's like it's team level.
Yes, yeah, team level. So it's like you can't be
Team
like
rivalries.
Michael Jordan versus whomever.
Okay.
Patrick Ewing or whatever. I don't even know if that's a big one. But
Patrick Ewing
was
and
that would be a good one?
getting a ring.
That would be
Sorry.
Tiger Woods.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Robert,
Well, with the
you
number
took the one.
overall pick, I'm going to go something that I think is near and dear to all of our hearts. Started out as just a measly old trade back in the early 1900s. A trade that went down as a curse of this team for a very long time. That would be the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox.
Good one.
Between the Alex Rodriguez, Varitek, you got
It spans so many generations.
so many generations, and for it to start on literally a curse because they're like, hey, we're going to trade this guy who's the best pitcher in baseball.
Who becomes the best hitter
Yeah,
in baseball
just because-
history?
It's kind of amazing. It's kind of cool.
It has the longevity as well as the peaks.
Yeah, and I mean, some great fights, between Don Zimmer and Pedro. Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Jason-
literally.
Varitek, A-Rod.
A-Rod.
And then you got Tyler Austin and Joe Kelly. Like,
Pretty much at conservatively, there's like one iconic moment, like fight like that per decade, like at least.
yeah. And I mean, just
Like very conservative.
and the history between them, the history in the playoffs, the history of even I hate to say it, but the Red Sox, come back 3 games to none. It's like that all adds to that drama of this rivalry. So, number one,
the way the dynamics between the teams have kind of shifted. The Yankees were big brother for so long, and the Red Sox have dominated for 15 years.
And
more
there's
than
the Northeast aspect is a real thing.
yeah. And Mookie Betts even saying that like he can't even compare the Giants-Dodgers series or rivalry to Yankees Red Sox. I mean that means a lot.
I mean that's
been
a
a part
draft.
of both.
That's a draft pro there.
Yeah.
Potentially tanking someone else's pick later in the draft by taking your pick and undercutting another pick.
I absolutely did that on purpose.
I respect that.
Thank you.
It's a great pick. Has to be on every sports fan's board.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really an argument against it. So
It was a clear number one, and I picked number 2 just in case you were gonna go somewhere else, and
okay.
yeah, you had to.
BBD, what are you thinking with the 2?
With the number 2, I'm pretty comfortable with where I've landed here, and it's I think it's a clear number 1 within its sport. Makes sense. It's number 2 pick, so you can get one of those. I'm gonna take Lakers Celtics.
Okay. Okay. Also was going to go in this draft.
I think clear number 1 NBA. Think of a long-standing rivalry.
It's one of my favorite things to hear when Bill Simmons has to talk about the Lakers, because there is that little kid sports fan in everyone. He just hates them. He can't stomach it. I remember when the LeBron rumors to LA were starting, and he was like sick to his stomach. It's like, goddamn, Lakers are going to get LeBron James. You get the coasts. I think
the coasts.
I think that becomes a big aspect of it. And just all the all-time players.
Yeah, and I mean I think we missed growing up in that generation of like
We didn't get to see its peak.
yeah, I mean Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and just
When they were like squaring off in championships almost every year.
like could you imagine watching Magic Johnson in his prime?
Every day.
Okay.
Not every day.
Oh.
But
I can only imagine.
yeah, it's
I can only imagine.
no, I think my always not hot take sports, but when Magic gets brought up, I feel like the feeling is more similar to LeBron. Like that's the whole basketball conversation. Jordan is Kobe. I feel like MJ was LeBron. Like he loved to pass. Like I guess he wasn't as physically dominant as LeBron, but the other Magic Johnson story that every old man loves to tell is how he played center his rookie year, I think. I think his rookie year he played center and he had to guard one of the legends, Wilt or someone, and he did a good job. Not Wilt, but there's a little history lesson that was
he
totally
was
wrong.
kind of one of the original like point forwards.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy that had the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
Sports are pretty funny.
Which like is what LeBron's career is.
A lot of titles there too.
Yeah.
Celtics in LA.
Lakers, I believe, just tied them with their last championships. I think do both have 17 now? Do I have numbers right? They have the two most in the NBA.
We're not a research department.
I don't look up facts.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick. Okay, you guys have cleared maybe my favorite. You guys have maybe taken the two best professional rivalries. Arguably. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I wanted to diversify my board, diversify your assets. That's what everyone says. I don't have assets to diversify yet. I'm just a crypto man. That's not true. Actually, you're kind of a crypto man. We'll save that. I am going with Doge. I'm going to go back-to-back college. I'm going... Which one do I want to make first? This will piss off someone either way. You know what? I am going to go Michigan, Ohio State. And here's why. When I was thinking about this, so regions come into play here. We've talked some coast. We talked Northeast. Ohio are some of the most sickly proud people you'll ever meet. OHIO. If you meet someone from Ohio and you say to them OH, it's like their obligation to say IO. It's the first time you see it, it kind of blows your mind. It's past like being fun. It's closer to religion than fun, which part of me respects.
Can I tell you a little something about the OH?
Yes.
When I was about 13 or 14, we were on a little vacation, family vacation, and I had an Ohio State hat that I thought was really cool. It was red, big O on it. And this guy comes up to me and goes, OH. And I just looked at him and went, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my cousin just goes, you're supposed to say IO.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole.
Yeah.
And
you ruined that guy's day.
That's when you learned
that
that
guy's
lesson.
You ruined that guy's day.
Yeah, that was the last time I wore that hat, too.
So, that hat's cool.
It's going to bring unnecessary conversation to me.
We'll be auctioning it off after this draft. And on the other side of it, and by the way, Ohio State's athletics and everything they're about, that's a whole thing and blah, blah, blah. Michigan has their own standards and significance in society, a Michigan man going back a long way. And now I think it's funny if you watch like a TV show or a movie and there's a lawyer who's going for their run in the morning, they're wearing either an Ivy League shirt or like a Michigan shirt. Michigan has this pride to it. And by the way, OHIO,
Sub-Ivy.
Michigan and their neighbors, they have their own thing. If you meet someone from Michigan, you ask them where they live, and you show up your hand, they will point on it because the hand is the shape of Michigan.
Oh, wow.
So if you
I kind of want to move to
East
Michigan
Lansing.
just to get that.
So Michigan, Ohio State, I will take that with the first pick. Also spans decades. There's the regional aspect that I think is important in different ways. And I'll just follow it up quickly. I will go North Carolina and Duke. Again, when you talk recent history, I guess that's the thing, because Duke was a terrible sports school before Coach K. Luckily, he's been there for 50 years now. But last year, by the way, for Coach K, John Shire taking over, I believe, former Duke point guard legend. You've seen it all. I mean, I think college basketball, unfortunately, is in kind of a meh place with the current NBA rules. I think there's this weird... We used to, 5 years ago, everyone got pissed off at, Kentucky because they were like, well, they get their one and dones and it's the most talented guys and they leave, blah blah blah. Now that's how you compete because all of the best players want to go pro, so they do their 1 year and they leave. I still think UNC Duke, especially like the Hansbrough years, even going back, Vince Carter, like the names that you can throw in the pot from those two schools, especially on the college level. I mean, a lot of guys go to the pros, and Tyler Hansbrough, the pro, doesn't speak to what Tyler Hansbrough, the college athlete, was. But I'll take the two colleges.
They're two.
And people are proud of their college.
Yeah, two schools that like just get a lot of dudes into the league as well. So it gets talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Another rivalry gets talked about a lot.
Okay.
I'm going to a college.
Okay. Interested.
Appealing to a slightly different area of the country, and I'm going to take Alabama-Auburn.
Okay. Okay, I like it.
I need to
Iron
get involved in the
Bowl.
foosball a little bit.
I like it, BBD. That's, again, you want to talk about pride. Holy smokes. Yeah. Those are proud people down there.
Yeah, it is always fun meeting someone with an Alabama shirt. And if you just say Roll Tide.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Roll Tide.
Oh, damn. I think the only where this rivalry, and I could say this for Michigan in recent years, Ohio State has rolled on them in football. Bama rolls in football, but that also makes it even better. Like, you talk to an Auburn fan and you say, like, hey, what years did you guys beat Bama? Like, I think they can, like, list them.
Yeah.
And that's how you show.
What was the last 2014, 15 when that guy ran a kick return
That
back?
kick, that
kick
field
six.
goal.
Yeah.
Yes, the kick six. There might be one in between. There might not be. Let's look at Auburn, Alabama history.
Not,
I can
for
look it up.
nothing, but every now and then both basketball teams also have some
Ooh.
talent, and it can get involved. But
Iron Bowl history.
obviously the football is.
Hey,
the
you know how
primary
it's a good rivalry? There's a Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
It has every game. So Auburn won in 2019. So okay, it's honestly for what Alabama is as a program, Auburn's doing their part.
Yeah. I mean, just anything SEC football,
Yeah,
I'm in.
that's true.
Anything SEC football, it's the best.
Dude, and also, I don't know if some sports fans know this, like, Alabama was really not Alabama before Saban for a little while. There was, from 2002 to 2007, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Auburn won 6 straight years.
Jeez.
Alabama was in, like, a blessed spot, and Saban went nuts. Robbie Scirocco, you have the Daily Double.
Okay. Well, for my second pick, let me tell you, the ones that you guys had, they were up there for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to go a little bit off of the little different sport than the
Okay.
two we've chosen. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this one. Rangers, Devils.
Okay.
Hockey.
Okay.
On my board.
I mean, for me, basically, the history is I'm a Devils fan.
Okay.
Kind of in there. Love watching hockey because it's just, I think, fast and fun, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything better than a Rangers-Devils game.
Okay.
I mean, they had a brawl. When they just drop the gloves and it's just like
Right.
before the puck drops?
Yes.
They had one of those in 2012. The two Eastern Conference playoffs where the Devils won in 94 and in 2012, I think, when Henrique ended it in
The King.
overtime. Yeah, and the fact that they haven't won a national championship or a Stanley Cup since 93, since the Devils beat them, I think it's kind of got like this little thing to it. And I mean, crosstown rivals, kind of New York.
That helps.
Brother, New Jersey, right in Newark.
Go to school with with people that like the other team,
Yeah.
which is
Yes.
Yeah, I
a
got
twist.
a couple of my good friends are Rangers fans, a couple of my good friends are Devils fans, and we just hate each other now. It's just like
Filled with hate.
Filled with hate. So it's fun.
It's a great pick. What are you gonna double up with?
I'm gonna go.
I've got 2 left that I really want.
You got 2 left that you really want.
Teaser.
I think I do too.
I think I've got one that's off your guys' board, but if I'm wrong, kill myself live on air. No.
I'm curious if we have the same one that I think is
gonna
off.
stop making that joke. Okay, Robbie.
Please don't.
I won't.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna do it. Giants, Eagles.
Okay.
On my board.
I think Giants, Eagles.
Okay.
And I'm not even a Giants or an Eagles fan. I think watching them, I mean, kind of the whole NFC East go at it is always fun. You could put
more or
Cowboys
less
in
could have
there.
picked any 2 NFC
Right.
teams, and
Yeah, but I think, between the Miracle at the Meadowlands and, I mean, just the, everybody hating Philly. And
closest to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you've got there is you've got the 2 craziest fans. You've got New Yorkers and
Yes.
Philly people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Cowboys, they have the bigger
It's
reach.
a bigger picture.
Washington has their own argument. But, yeah, Philly's the gas on the fire there.
Philly, I mean, you just throw anything at Philly, and it's just like, my wife's from Philly, so it's just like, feisty.
Heated.
Oh, yeah. Very
Tense.
heated. Very intense.
That's a good one. NFC's, yeah, that's I just wouldn't have known which way to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
That
exactly,
is
yeah.
the one I put on my board as like if I'm going with the NFC East pick, I would have gone
That's
Giants,
probably the play.
Eagles.
That's
For
probably
everything we just said about them.
Yeah.
Okay, King BBD.
Yes, I have a bit of a decision to make because there's probably there's probably 3 picks that I could make here. One of them I really want to. I think I can wait. Ooh.
Wow.
I'll go
CCS.
Packers Bears.
Okay. Okay.
That was on my board.
Good rivalry.
Makes sense.
Football,
You get some
history.
Midwest stuff.
The only recent years, Favre Rodgers compared to
Yeah.
what the Bears have been rolling out have made it a little biased. But yeah, when that's right, it's kind of Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah, I think they played each other like over 200 times too. That's
Yeah.
what I was reading last
Just
night.
played
It's just like
Too much.
Yeah, once you've done that, and I think Aaron Rodgers actually adds to it, and 'cause
It's true.
Bears fans now they hate the
And
Packers so much,
Having like an era of one team kind of dominating.
Yeah.
and him saying, "I still fucking own you,"
Yeah.
like 2 fans. As a fan, that would just eat me alive. Like I would hate it.
So it passes the wiki page test, obviously, like all these do, I think. But
Checking my last one has a wiki.
it goes back to the 1920s, which is a good sign. And yeah, it's actually funny. So they have it. I'll put it on the big screen for you guys. They have it segmented by decade, and it's just the Packers' recent dominance is pretty tough if you're a Bears fan. The 20-4 in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So Bears, figure it out, man. Get a quarterback. They've even got guys that played on both teams. That's fun. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Means a lot to those people.
And I think somewhat similarly to what we said about Giants, Eagles, and the NFC East, I think just about any combination of the teams in that division, they all don't like each other either.
Vikings have good history.
Vikings was the strongest argument with the Packers, but I think I am most comfortable with
If
this
the
selection.
Bears were better in recent years, I don't think it'd be a
It'd be-
conversation.
yeah, they have the biggest history.
The Bears. It's a great pick. Wasn't where I was going. I'm going to take, I think it's going to turn out that I only have one pro matchup. And I will do the pro matchup that Robbie Scirocco shat on. I will do Giants-Dodgers. I hope we're about to enter into a new era of Giants-Dodgers.
It was
It's an
fun this year.
investment.
It was a lot. It was fun to watch, fun to keep up with.
They
It was re-sparked at least a little bit.
And I
just by
think-
both teams being good at the same time.
I think
again.
something that's kind of changed is like San Francisco, Oakland, that area. San Francisco is a city. San Francisco now has more money than like LA. Like going forward as a sports franchise, I think the Giants, I think they're going to be different. Like they've already been a good franchise. I heard some stat the other day that like the economic boom in San Francisco from the 90s till now, or maybe just the 90s, is more than Europe since the revolution. Like San Francisco and the tech and all of that stuff has put so much money into the Bay Area that the Giants as a sports franchise, like look at Golden State, like they're having a nice little sports moment right now. And by the way, these people like the Bay in LA, they kind of don't like each other. Haven't people been stabbed and stuff? I'm not putting that in the plus column, but
I would.
that's how you know it's intense.
Yeah.
And with my last pick, and I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going Army Navy.
Oh.
That was my in the shower like aha.
Mm-hmm.
Because rivalries can be built off hate, but at the root of every rivalry is respect. Yankees, Red Sox.
And service to your country.
I mean, that's where this gets powerful. I mean, these, you watch an Army-Navy football thing, it's kind of a powerful moment because, they usually do like the seniors and stuff, and then you kind of have this sick realization like, oh, so after they play this football game, did they go...
They go to war.
To war
Yeah.
or a battle station.
Yeah, they're like
You're
real
like-
adults.
Yeah,
and-
after when
They
teams
like
do
doing stuff.
handshakes after the game, this one's a big one because, yeah. So I was pretty happy when I thought of that one because from a sports perspective, these two teams do have national titles, but from years and years ago, athletes and what athletics have become are a little different. But from a rivalry standpoint, I'm happy I got that. So.
I think it's awesome too that they play at a neutral site every year literally in the middle of
Yeah.
both, so it's like that adds
figured
to
it
it.
out.
The crowds add to it because they have so many different chants
Yeah.
and so many different like fun things that they do, and it's like, oh, who could jump out of the airplane? It's like they have so many
Right.
different things that they assimilate to, I guess.
Good word.
Thank you.
Good word.
I love it. I was thinking of that one yesterday too, but I didn't write it down.
Okay.
Great pick.
Damn.
Great,
Thank you.
great pick.
Thank you. BBD and then Rob to wrap her up.
Once again, I'm between a few picks. One that I feel somewhat obligated to, but I think I've accomplished my crowd pleasing for the most part in my first three picks. So I'm comfortable going a direction that like I want this. It'll be covering a different demographic than we've covered so far. I want the fucking nerds. Harvard, Yale.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. Interesting. The game.
It evolves a bit beyond the realm of sports as well.
I like that.
Similar to what we've discussed, but
The realm of academia.
Yeah.
I've
not
been
just-
to Harvard Yale game.
It's not just about the grit.
The grit.
Smarts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. I like that pick, BBD.
there's another. I was obviously walking away with 0 MLB picks hurts my heart personally a little bit, and there's another football one that I'm into, but I don't want to spoil in
You
case
can
that's where
spoil.
Rob wants to go.
Well, I do. Before we tee up Rob's last pick, I don't know what you have for options. I do feel bad. We are very American right now, so maybe if you have an America pick, you could skew the whole
I have
thing.
an America pick.
Okay,
so,
because
yeah, it's-
maybe we'll make this best North American sports rivalries.
you go in.
Because we left out some massive cricket teams and soccer. And stuff
and
like
hockey
that.
teams. You go
Exactly.
Maple Leafs, Canadians. It's just like
That's where I wanted to leave it, North America. If you had a
yeah.
Canuck Bowl, but I think it would be funny if we post a graphic of this currently. I think people would be like, "How did you not put England, France, or something like that. And it's like, well,
So,
We'll
good
circle
news
up
for you.
another
I've
time.
already changed the episode to American sports.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Robbie, you have the final pick.
Well, for my last pick, and I don't think anybody's going to be happy with this one besides,
Perfect.
Maybe me and about, 30,000 other alumni who went here.
Okay.
It is the greatest high school in Bergen County.
Wow.
Bergen Catholic Crusaders against Don Bosco Ironmen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've are familiar with it.
I am somewhat.
It is on the
I
Max
am.
Preps top. I'm putting a top 1 of high school rivalries in sports, and it's not just football because that's where a lot of the
those
clash
are each
has
of their
been.
biggest sports, but
Yes, but it dives deeper, especially playing in the rivalry. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but our golf teams would go at it.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
that's what. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I mean, it started in like 1958, and for just 2 all boys high school schools that, and you could go a lot of places and people would be like, I've heard of Bergen Catholic and Don Bosco as a rivalry.
Yeah.
It was mentioned in the Pacific, that show, so it's like, that's right, Bergen County pride. Love it, Tom Ace. You're the man.
That's good. That's the good. It's arguably the
I know
best.
a lot of people on both sides.
Arguably the best high school matchup,
Arguably.
high school rivalry in sports. I like
You
it.
get a number 1 in a category
Off the
at
board.
that late.
Off the board, but on the board.
That's right. Yeah, I knew no one was going to take it, so I figured I'd just save it for last.
So
Best for last.
what have we missed? I mean, I saw the chat is back opened. I see Cal Stanford. That's a good one. I think in recent years that's lost.
Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Yeah, like that's we didn't really go international because there's a couple a couple of the cricket teams if you go international with it, like there's rugby, New Zealand, and whoever they play, Australia.
Australia,
Those would have been
guess?
some deep cuts.
All
The
Blacks,
one the
Joe
chat
Coco.
is discussing a bit that I was close to was Steelers, and I think I would have gone Ravens, but I think
Okay.
Browns has the longer rivalry.
I mean,
we're
if
going
the
full
Browns were a
picture.
good team, I mean,
the Browns haven't been
it would
good.
be them.
Ravens, Steelers, I see being brought up a lot.
Yeah, I think I would have, if I was going to pick a Steelers rivalry. I mean, it's the same conversation we've had about most of these NFL division picks. It's like everyone in the division really doesn't like each other, but I would have gone Ravens because both teams have kind of been good at least my whole life.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, for 20 years now. Yeah, I mean, the Browns, the Ravens. Were the Ravens the Browns? Who left for
Ravens were the Browns.
Ravens were the Browns. So if the Browns were good, which again, they've been massively bad
Yeah.
before the past couple years where they've been okay.
Got a playoff matchup with them recently.
Tom Ace, Colts, Patriots during the Manning era. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where things do get
I think when we
interesting.
get into
You could say, Manning versus Brady.
yeah, I think when it becomes we're gonna do individuals down the line.
If
so
we
that
did
took
time
away.
periods, like, yeah, if you can bottle up stuff like that. 'Cause
if we were picking like 10-year windows of rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just an honorable mention, but Arnold Palmer versus Jack Nicklaus. Back
Right.
in the day, to just
Every day.
yeah. I mean,
Every
to
Sunday.
have 2 guys literally have their own Arizona iced teas.
Yeah.
That's
That's how you know.
how you know that they've made
That's
it.
when it cuts deep.
Really, seriously. And I mean, anybody who says that an Arnold Palmer is better than a Golden Bear, you're out of your mind. Out of your mind.
And that's I think one day, maybe we'll do a when you start getting to individuals, because there's a lot of tennis people too. I mean,
Right.
I'm a bit Agassi
okay.
Sampras,
Agassi,
as people knew
Sampras,
as
Agris.
Agris back in the day. Jesus, how does the human brain work? That's ridiculous.
And I mean, you got Federer, and
Federer.
Djokovic, and Nadal.
And I mean, there are individuals in team sports, whether it's like, Bird and Magic.
Yeah.
So, our final teams, Rob Scirocco, Red Sox, Yankees, Rangers, Devils, Giants, Eagles, Bergen Catholic, and Don Bosco. You got a little Northeast there in you, huh?
A little bit. Yeah, I might have went a little Northeast heavy there.
BBD, Lakers, Celtics, Bama, Auburn, Green Bay, Packers, and the Chicago Bears. Harvard, Yale. I went Michigan, Ohio State, UNC, Duke, the Giants and the Dodgers, Army, and Navy. Go Army, beat Navy. Go Navy, beat Army. Wilt Russell, Tiger Mickelson.
You could say Tiger Mickelson, but it was basically Tiger
It was
versus
just kind of Tiger.
yeah, golf. I mean, golfers at that
the
time.
field.
Yeah,
Tiger.
seriously.
So, all right, guys. I hope everyone enjoyed that. If you did, leave a comment, reply, review. Always bake the algorithm. Hit
You've got
the like
other
button.
draft suggestions you'd like to see in the sports world. We obviously do a lot of weird drafts on JJR. This is where we can keep it even more sports focused. We get there on JJR decently.
Oklahoma, Texas was kind of another. I thought that was going to go in this draft. Also a game I was lucky enough to go to when I was in Dallas.
Tom brings up a great point. Tom Ace,
my guy.
He's my guy too. Devils Rangers brought up in Seinfeld.
So,
You know, I mean,
point.
Good app.
Yeah.
Point.
Putty.
So thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We will be back on Monday, wrapping up the NFL. I feel like we're gonna get some baseball news. Baseball feels like they're itching, and I think there's teams that want to get stuff done before the CBA. I'm not exactly sure of the motivations. It feels
a little
like
bit the opposite. Like if it, not anyone's biggest moves because you don't.
I feel like the trades, it feels like the Oakland stuff might happen before the CBA. I don't know. That's just
feels
guessing.
Like
do you think that's because Oakland wants to just get rid of everything and kind of start fresh with this CBA?
Like that would be my guess, but I don't fully know.
It's so confusing.
I don't know the advantages. That's what I was, again, texted Jeff Passan, not a big deal.
Who's that?
But that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see if he was going to give, you might watch relievers might sign before the CBA to get that contract and make sure they have it or something like that. He did not say that. He said the Joely signing meant nothing. So
it's because teams and any of the big moves that have long-term ramifications, you're not going to do that before you can know the ramifications of that. So
right.
Like Correa.
It could be
a team,
silent.
A team really can't do that.
It could be silent.
But
we'll see.
These trades that are 1 or 2 year commitments and whatever else. Again, I don't think big money's getting spent before because you need to know what the budget's going to be.
But
I think we've largely
Heaney.
been.
Good for him, man.
Good for him. Good for him. I know a lot of jokes there, but good for him. All right, guys, we have to wrap up. We're doing Talking Yanks after this, the return of the Jombino. Exciting stuff. Watch everything on the JOMBOY Media Network, including Robbie Scirocco. Thank him for joining us. Snaps for Robbie. And their new episode of the Chris Rose rotation today, Tristan McKenzie. Cool guy. We like that. Compound with Ian Happ. And by the way, Ian Happ was on Talking Baseball yesterday, if you haven't checked that out. Sequence with Trevor Plouffe. Did he do the posy up? I know he was threatening that. Great rivalry, people are saying. Mansplain Pod and Hey Y'all, Ashland, Josh Donaldson floating around there. Talking Giants, winning week last week. Will they keep it going? The race to 9-8. JJR yesterday, JOMBOY was there, so was James Douglas in the B draft. Talking baseball. Ian Happ, I already said that.
Farm to Fame's always doing stuff.
Check out everything on the JOMBOY Media Network. Farm to Fame. Moylan Winger. Matty Mass, I saw you.